All right, strap in, everyone, because we're going deep today
Deep, deep
into the world of Los Angeles public comment.
public comment. Yeah.
And trust me, this one's a doozy. We've got Gigi's phone.
Gigi's phone.
You might know her as Gigi or Gigi. Even Ganja pops up sometimes.
Oh, wow. A lot of aliases.
Right. She's a regular, like, clockwork at these L.A. Public Works Commission meetings.
Oh, I see.
And from the looks of these YouTube videos you sent us, she's got opinions.
I'm intrigued.
So what are we trying to figure out today?
Well, let's break down Gigi's style, right? What works, what maybe needs a little tweaking.
Exactly. How can she be the best advocate she can be?
I love that because it's more than just info, right? It's how she uses public comment, how she's trying to, like, make the city listen.
There's a whole performance.
It is a dance. There's what she's saying, how she says it, how people react.
It's fascinating. Okay, so first impression.
First impression. Hit me.
Gigi is all about these massive planters.
Planters.
Giant things surrounding a Scientology building.
Ah,
L. Ron Hubbard Way and Fountain Avenue, to be exact.
gotcha.
251 of them.
251 planters. That's a lot of planters.
And they've been there, get this, for over 6 months.
Wow.
She claims they're not ADA compliant.
Non-compliant, that's a problem.
Huge problem. And they're blocking a fire lane.
Blocking a fire lane, oh, that could be bad.
Bad. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And Gigi knows it.
Interesting. So she's using that potential danger to try and, get them to do something about it.
Exactly. It's not just complaining. It's, hey, this is serious. People could get hurt.
Smart. That repetition, even if it seems a bit much, it keeps the issue alive.
Keeps it on their radar, you're right.
Forces them to deal with it, even if they'd rather just, sweep it under the rug.
Like, hey, remember those giant planters?
Yeah.
Still there.
Right. And the potential lawsuits, that definitely raises the stakes for them.
Exactly. She's laying out the consequences. Like, this isn't just a theoretical problem.
Real consequences. I like it. Now, tell me about this tightrope walk you mentioned.
Okay, so Gigi's really interesting because on one hand, she's super respectful, even complimentary to individual commissioners.
Really?
Oh, yeah, there's this one video. She tells the commissioner, I respect you. You've been very respectful. That's really good to see.
Okay, so she's buttering them up.
Maybe. But then she goes right into criticizing the whole commission for not taking action.
Oh, wow, that's a tactic.
Right. Like, be nice, then hit him with the truth bomb.
It's hard to say if that helps or hurts. Maybe that personal touch makes them listen more,
Or maybe it softens the blow too much.
Good point.
And let's be real, sometimes that balance goes out the window completely.
Oh.
When Gigi gets frustrated, the language gets colorful.
Colorful.
We won't repeat it here, but you get the idea.
Ah, I think I do. So it's that classic public comment dilemma.
Right.
Does being forceful get you attention? Or does it just turn people off?
Big question.
It's a risk. This is a formal setting, a government meeting. There are expectations.
Totally. She brings a really unique style to these public comments, often delivering her complaints in rhyme.
And Gigi's approach is certainly memorable. It's a clever way to stand out in a crowded public comment period, right? And make sure that her message really sticks with the commissioners.
Here's a sample. We've been waiting for months, but the planters still stand and the easements blocked in the way. It's getting out of hand. City said move them, but they're still in place. Time to act now. This is such a disgrace.
So while the rhyming format is very engaging, it might also run the risk of trivializing her concerns. It's a fine line to walk between being memorable and being taken seriously.
I see your point. It's like she needs to find that sweet spot where her creativity grabs attention, but doesn't undermine the urgency of her message.
It would be interesting to see her experiment with other approaches just to add some variety and potentially increase the impact of her message.
Maybe a rhyming petition or a protest song.
While her persistence is admirable, it might be beneficial for Gigi to explore other avenues of action, alongside her public comments, maybe connect with other residents who share her concerns, or even engage with local media to raise awareness.
Maybe she needs to start a Planters Be Gone campaign. And Gigi, bless her heart, could use a little more organization in her comments.
What do you mean?
She jumps around a lot. Planters, then city permits, then underground tunnels.
Oh, wow, that's a lot to keep track of.
It's like she's connecting dots, but the lines are invisible.
And that makes it hard for anyone to follow, right? The commissioners, us watching the video.
Exactly. A little public speaking 101 could go a long way.
Totally. Imagine clear bullet points, Smooth transitions, maybe even some visuals.
Photos of the planters, diagrams of the tunnels.
Right. Because having something to say is important, but making sure people understand it, that's the key.
And then there's this whole thing about, well, Scientology.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Gigi sees their influence everywhere.
Like how?
She claims a city employee was pushing people towards Scientology permits.
That's a bold claim.
And everything the commission does or doesn't do, she ties back to them. Like they're pulling the strings.
I see. So there's this suspicion of hidden agendas.
Big time.
Which is understandable, right? Especially when you're dealing with something that's been dragging on for so long.
Right. It's frustrating.
It is. But presenting those suspicions as facts, well, that can hurt her credibility.
Make people think she's, a little out there.
Yeah. Instead of flat-out accusations, what if she framed them as questions?
Well, that's good.
Has the commission looked into this? Are there any conflicts of interest? That kind of thing.
Much more likely to get them talking instead of getting defensive.
Exactly. It shifts the focus, right? From pointing fingers to genuinely seeking information.
Okay, but here's the thing. For all the frustration, the strong language,
Yeah.
Gigi still has hope. Like, she genuinely believes the commissioners can be the good guys.
So underneath all that frustration, she still believes someone can fix this, even if it's not them.
Exactly. It's almost touching, like she hasn't given up on the system entirely.
That's actually quite hopeful.
So we've got a woman who's passionate, determined, but maybe still figuring out how to play the game.
The game of public comment. It's a tough one.
It is. But that's why we're here.
To try and help her level up.
To see what we can learn from Gigi, both the good and the bad.
And maybe help anyone listening who wants to make their voice heard, too.
Because, let's be honest, most of us wouldn't even show up to these meetings.
Oh, totally. So Gigi's already doing more than most.
Way more.
Okay, let's move on. This next one's a little spicy. It's where Gigi calls out a commissioner directly.
Oh, the one who was rolling his eyes.
That's the one. She goes, "I see you over there, Commissioner," with that look on your face. "You think this is funny. You think the safety of our community is a joke."
Ouch. Calling them out like that, that's bold.
It's risky, right? Like, you can see why she's doing it. The guy's being dismissive.
Totally disrespectful.
But does it get results? Or does it just make him dig in his heels even more?
Probably the second one. It feels like it's shutting down any chance of dialogue.
Right. Because the goal here, it's persuasion, not confrontation. You want to bring them over to your side.
Not make them the enemy.
Exactly. And you can be assertive, even angry, but there's got to be that baseline of respect.
Even if they're not giving it back to you.
Tough, but true. So how could Gigi handle this differently?
Well, instead of calling him out specifically, what if she addressed the attitude more broadly?
Oh, I like that. Like, I understand some people might not see this as urgent.
But I assure you, the safety of our community is at stake.
Perfect. It's not about him, it's about the issue. And it gives him a chance to back down gracefully.
Save face, reconsider without feeling attacked.
Exactly. It's that open door, that invitation to dialogue.
Yeah.
Much more effective.
Let's talk about something I think Gigi does really well. Connecting with other people.
Oh, you mean how she interacts with the other commenters?
Yeah, she's not just doing her own thing, she's acknowledging them, echoing their concerns.
I noticed that too. It's like she's building a community right there in the meeting.
Totally. And she thanks them, thank you for bringing that up. I agree with what you said.
It's smart. It turns those individual comments into like a united front.
It shows the commission, hey, it's not just Gigi. A lot of us feel this way.
And that's powerful. When those in power see a group, not just one person, they have to take it more seriously. And that's how change happens. When people realize they're not alone, when they join forces.
Okay, there's this one moment, I got to ask you about it. It's where Gigi straight up accuses a city employee.
Oh, the one about favoring Scientology in the permitting process.
That's the one. She names him, even says he's in their pocket, plain and simple.
Yikes. That's walking a thin line.
Because, yeah, call out potential corruption, absolutely.
But without proof.
It just sounds like a conspiracy theory.
And that hurts her, right? People start thinking, oh, Gigi's gone off the deep end.
Instead of focusing on the real issues. So what's the better way to handle that?
Questions. Always questions. Instead of accusing, it's, what steps has the commission taken to ensure fairness in the permitting process?
Oh, that's good. It puts the onus on them to explain themselves.
Right. And are there any safeguards against conflicts of interest? Like, make them show their work.
It's turning the tables. Instead of her making a claim, they have to prove her wrong.
Exactly. It's inquiry, not accusation. Much more productive. Okay, let's talk about something Gigi mentions all the time. ADA compliance.
ADA, yeah, she brings it up constantly. But it's not always clear what she means.
Right, it's like she assumes everyone knows the Americans with Disabilities Act inside and out.
But most people probably don't. So it's just this vague complaint.
And that's a missed opportunity. Because ADA, that's powerful stuff. It's the law.
So instead of just saying it's not ADA compliant, she needs to explain it.
Exactly. Give examples. These planters, they lack curb cuts, the surface is uneven, wheelchairs can't get through, that kind of thing.
Show the real-world impact, how it affects people's lives.
And it educates the audience, right? Maybe some people are there thinking, ADA, what's that?
Now they're learning something. They're seeing why it matters.
So public comment, it's not just about airing grievances, it's also a chance to teach.
To raise awareness. Okay, I think we've covered a lot here. Gigi's got her strengths. That passion. She's a fighter. She connects with people.
And she's willing to take on the system, which is amazing.
But we've also seen where she could improve. The organization, explaining things better, being careful with the tone and language.
It's been fun though, right? Breaking down her style, seeing how she operates.
It's like we're getting a master class in guerrilla public comment.
Guerrilla public comment, I love that. And hopefully, by analyzing Gigi, we can help others who are trying to make their voices heard.
Because most of us wouldn't even know where to start, right?
Totally. So Gigi's already a step ahead.
Way ahead. And even if she's not perfect, even if she makes mistakes, it's inspiring to see someone who cares this much.
It is. It's a reminder that we can all make a difference, even if it's just showing up and speaking our truth.
All right, ready for some more Gigi gems?
No, I'm not ready. Bring them on.
It seems like she's actually making some headway,
Right. It's not just talk. She's getting results.
which is amazing to see.
It really is. Because it shows, even when it feels like the system's against you, you can still make a dent.
So what can we learn from Gigi? What are the cheat codes for becoming a better advocate?
Well, first off, know the rules of the game.
Right?
Yeah,
Wow.
like how does public comment actually work? Who are the people making decisions? What can they actually do? What are they limited by?
Oh, so it's not just showing up and yelling at whoever's there.
Not exactly. You got to be strategic. Think about who you're talking to, what will actually persuade them.
And what about, getting other people involved?
Oh, that's huge. Find other people who care about the same things. Join forces, amplify your message.
Strength in numbers, right?
Exactly. And don't give up. Change takes time. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
What does Gigi's whole saga tell us about, being a citizen trying to get stuff done?
Oh, it's a fascinating case study. Because on one hand, she's clearly hitting those classic roadblocks.
Bureaucracy, slow progress, feeling ignored, the usual.
The joys of local government.
Right. But she also shows what's possible. She's persistent, she's learning as she goes, she's building those connections with other people.
And that's the power of just showing up, speaking your truth, even if it's messy, even if it's frustrating.
But that's what it means to be an active citizen, right?
It is. You're not just complaining on social media. You're engaging with the system, trying to make it better.
Even if it feels like shouting into the void sometimes.
Sometimes. But it's important, especially now when everyone's so cynical about, government, politics, the whole thing.
Gigi is like a little spark of hope.
She is. She's showing that change is possible, even at the hyper-local level.
Even with planters.
Even with planters. And it's a reminder that every voice matters, that we all have the power to make a difference if we're persistent, if we work together.
So listener, what about you? What's your deep dive?
What are you passionate about? What needs fixing in your community?
What change are you going to make happen?
Because we believe in you, just like we believe in Gigi.
And that's it for our deep dive into the world of LA public comment, featuring the one and only Gigi's phone.
We laughed, we cringed, we learned a lot.
She's a force of nature, that's for sure.
She is. And hopefully, by dissecting her style, we've given you some tools, some inspiration to get out there and make your own voice heard.
Because civic engagement, it's not just for Gigi's phone, it's for everyone.
It is. It's how we make our communities better, how we build a world we actually want to live in.
So thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and remember, your voice matters.
It really does.